Everyone, today is Monday, April 2nd, 2012. Welcome to City Hall. The mayor's gavel is tonight because we have a unique situation with the passing of Mayor Abner Gannett. Mayor Gannett was mayor here of Elmhurst from 1977 to 1985. He also was the proprietor here at Leonard's store for men. Sold us many suits and shirts and ties, including the suit that I have on today. Today we have an empty chair that represents our former mayor, a great man, did a lot of great things for our community, and his picture. And we also have bunting displayed here, and also for his memory. The city flag is being flown at half-mast as well this week. His service will be honored, memorial service this Friday, I believe. So, and if anybody has any further details, we can do that under announcement. So at this time, I'd ask for a moment of silence for Abner Gannett, our former mayor. Thank you. At this time, the Boy Scout troop from Visitation Church is here. I would like to invite them up to do our Pledge of Allegiance, and if we could all please rise to join them. Thank you. Come up here, guys. Perfect. Right. Ready? You guys lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would you guys like to shake the hands of all the aldermen and our clerk, city manager? Feel free, okay?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming out today.
Thank you.
I get a high five.
Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Get a high five, guys.
Good job.
Thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for coming out. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Very good.
We want fives down here too, guys.
Try over there.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for Watch your step. Good job. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Watch your step. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks, guys. Watch your step. Thanks. Good job. Watch your step. Way to go, guys. Good job. Careful. Watch your step. Thank you. Thank you. Careful. Watch your step. Watch your step. Thank you. Careful. Watch your step.
I'd like to thank their leaders, Mr. Lavin back there. We appreciate you coming out tonight, and for Alderman Wagner for bringing the parish troop out. So, at this time, to make our meeting official, I'd ask Clerk Spencer to call the roll, please.
Heza. Here. Gutenkopf. Here. Leader.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Polumsky. Absent. York.
Here.
Pipskin.
Here.
Healy.
Here.
Levin.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Morley.
Here.
Wagner.
Here.
Mulliner.
Here.
13 present, 1 absent.
13 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum. I will go on to our next item on our agenda, which is a proclamation for Autism Awareness Day and Autism Awareness Month. And last week I was actually on vacation with my family and gone for the week, and we didn't meet. Only 2 committees met last Monday. But the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, on Thursday of last week announced that autism had yet another increase in diagnosis. Originally, back in the 1980s, it was about 1 in 10,000 kids. When my daughter Brianna was diagnosed, it was 1 in 150. And on Thursday, they announced 1 in 88 children being diagnosed today. So this is a complex neurological disease that is unfortunately affecting more and more children as we speak. About 1 in every 15 minutes in America is diagnosed with autism, and about 1 million affected, and that number is expected to double and triple within the next 10 years. So this is a problem, unfortunately, that's not going away. So with that, this proclamation, I'd like to read this. Whereas autism is a complex neurological disease and developmental disability, which robs children of social skills, the ability to talk, interact, and do the normal things that are often taken for granted, transcending all social, cultural, and geographic boundaries. And whereas autism affects 1 in every, actually 88 children born today, and affects boys nearly 5 times the level of girls. It has been diagnosed at a higher rate than pediatric AIDS, juvenile diabetes, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and all pediatric cancers combined, and is considered to be our country's #1 medical condition affecting children today and becoming the fastest growing global public health crisis. And whereas the autism is treatable through early diagnosis, early intervention, including critical intensive medical necessary therapies such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, ABA therapy, RDI, floor time, and other behavioral therapies, combined with medical interventions, have been proven to be extremely effective, often unlocking the world of autism to enable these beautiful children the ability to communicate and interact with the ultimate goal of independent, fulfilling, productive lives. Whereas on April 2nd, 2012, Autism Speaks in the global autism community will celebrate the 4th annual United Nations sanctioned World Autism Awareness Day and has launched an international campaign called Light It Up in Blue. Now therefore, I, Peter D. Sandy III, Mayor of the City of Elmhurst, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2012 as Autism Awareness Month in the City of Elmhurst to promote the awareness and early detection of autism, and ask residents to recognize April 2nd, 2012 as World Autism Awareness Day. So this is going out not only to my daughter, who's one of the over 100 children affected in Elmhurst, and over 20,000 children affected in the state of Illinois, and over 1 million affected throughout the country. That's affected with this tough disease to deal with. So we not only as a mayor, but as a father, do whatever we can to bring awareness and early diagnosis to help these kids. So fortunately, we're catching this early and early on these kids, and because we're in a great school district with good services, and now with insurance, more and more kids are becoming more and more productive, and that's the bottom line. So on to item number 5, written communications and or petitions from the public. Is there anyone with any written communications for our clerk? If there is, if you could please rise and present those to Clerk Spencer, that would be great. All right, I will move on to our public forum and ask Clerk Spencer if anybody has signed up for public forum today.
Yes, we have a couple, Mr. Mayor. Claude Peckish, 566 West Gladys.
Mr. Peckish. Naturally, we have 3 minutes, and we always appreciate hearing from you, Claude.
My name is Claude Peckish. I live at 566 West Gladys. Personally, I didn't want the aggregate electric to pass. Voted against it. Going to put that right up front. I've been badgered over a couple of years now, maybe a little longer. Flyers, phone calls. Threw them in the garbage, didn't answer the phone. But last week, my wife went to the front door and had a woman representing Elmhurst wanted to sell me electric. I don't need it, don't want it, don't care for it. And I don't need somebody banging on my door saying they represent Elmhurst and they would like to sell me electric. I didn't like the phone calls, I didn't like the paperwork. I would also like to add that about 17 years ago, DuPage County was asked to vote on a water commission. We were going to get water from the lake. It was going to be cheap water. Just shut down your wells, we'll put in a main, and you'll have all the water you want. 17 years later, I'm paying a dear penalty for that decision of this town. The wells are shut, the water from the lake ain't very good, and the price isn't cheaper. Now we got this aggregate that I hope this council spends a lot more time informing the public about than any attempt was made to inform the public about how the system really works. Because maybe in 17 years, you'll wish you never voted for it.
Thank you, Claude.
Next, we have Tony Meneses, 757 South Parkside.
I'm glad you got this thing because I was afraid I wasn't taller than the podium over here. So, my name's Tony Meneses. I live at 757 South Parkside. I've been a lifelong Elmhurst resident. I graduated from York, and as a matter of fact, the late great Mayor Abner Gannick gave me my first job at Leonard's Store for Men in 1985, selling suits on the floor of his Suit store, I had a great time, and it's where I was first exposed to payroll tax deductions. So, respected members of the council and the Honorable Mayor DeCiani, I thank you for your time. I told you my name. In the coming months, the City of Elmhurst and the Elmhurst City Council faces its greatest test of leadership, perhaps in its entire existence, because it has to do with basic liberty protection, that one person can hold one elected office at one time. It is that simple, and its importance cannot be overstated. The illustration is easy. The president can't hold a Senate seat, a governor can't simultaneously be a member of a state assembly, the mayor of Chicago can't sit on the Cook County Board, and the mayor of Elmhurst cannot legally hold the office of mayor after being elected and seated on the DuPage County Board. If a person can hold two elected offices at one time, why not 3? Why not 4? That's the slippery slope. What protects us from that? One office at a time. That's what, and protecting that precedent. The fundamental foundation of our government systems rests on the voluntary relinquishing and transfer of power, either in the loss of an election or victory in another. If another office is gained through successful election, the first office is forfeited automatically, if not voluntarily submitted. This is the opinion of the DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin, published in January of 2012. In reaction to the opinion, Mayor DeCiani stated in published articles that he disagreed with this legal precedent and planned to retain the Elmhurst mayoral office if elected to the DuPage County Board, which is his right as an American citizen to run and be elected and seated. But now we have Democrat Senator Don Harmon of Oak Park introducing legislation in committee at the Illinois State Senate level to modify the language of Senate Bill 3332, cited in the state's attorney's opinion, in the conflict of interest. It seems an attempt to preempt the challenge by the state's attorney. The council is not obligated to remain silent in this situation. As a matter of fact, the responsibility is the opposite. If successful, we as a community will have changed the most fundamental legal precedent for possibly all Illinois counties and cities, as well as its citizens and its children, all in the name of flood money. It is our responsibility to protect this basic government structure, which prevents the consolidation of power, gives us a system of checks and balances, and conflict-free representation of a defined constituency.
Tony.
Can I finish? I'm almost done.
You're over your 3 minutes, but I'll give you another 10 seconds.
Thank
if
you.
wanna
I
wrap it up.
respectfully request as a citizen of Elmhurst that the council consider the following: a resolution in support of the state's attorney's opinion, a resolution in opposition of Senator Don Harmon's amendment efforts, and a local ordinance defining that any city mayor of Elmhurst can basically hold one elected office at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Mr. Mayor, that's all who signed in tonight for public forum.
All righty. I will officially close the public forum at this time. Move on to our consent agenda, or excuse me, announcements. Anybody with announcements? Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We received information from the Illinois Department of Transportation in regards to a public meeting about the Elgin O'Hare West Bypass project. The date for this is Wednesday, April 18th, from 5 o'clock p.m. to 8 p.m. at Belvedere Banquets on 1170 West Devon Avenue in Elk Grove. Feel free to come out to see what the current plan is and discuss with some of the experts at IDOT on what the West Bypass project looks like today.
Anybody else? Alderman Gutenkopf.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't also give the details of the memorial for Abner Gannett. Friday, April 6th, at Congregation Etz Chaim at 1710 South Highland Avenue in Lombard at 10 a.m. There will be a memorial service for Abner Gannett.
Okay, it's the 6th, it's Friday. What time again is it, Diane?
Friday morning, April 6th at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. And it's in Lombard?
Yes.
What was the address again on that?
1710 South Highland Avenue.
Good. Righty. Anybody else with announcements? All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda. At this time, I'd ask if there's anyone that has a question or may want to vote no on any particular item, please indicate that at this time. Hearing none. Oh, Alderman Dunn.
Letter R.
Letter R. Ready? Anybody else? Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion and a second to approve the contents of the consent agenda, less item R. Alderman Healy with a motion, seconded by Alderman Pezza. And Clerk Spencer, if you please call the roll.
Healy.
Aye.
Pezza.
Aye.
Gutenkopf.
Aye.
Leader.
Leader.
Alderman Leader? Approve the contents of the consent agenda.
Oh, I'm
less
sorry,
item-
my mind was
That's okay.
lost. Aye, I'm sorry.
Dunn.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Palumski, absent. York.
Aye.
Gipskin.
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Morley.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
Mulliner.
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. The contents of the consent agenda passes, less item R. And now I will go to item R, which is a resolution. I ask Clerk Spencer to read the resolution, please.
Yes, it's Resolution R-15-2012, a resolution adopting the new sidewalk installation policy.
And at this time, I ask for a motion and a second to put this particular item on the floor, please. Alderman Dunn with a motion, second by Alderman Gutenkopf. And discussion. Alderman Dunn.
I just wanted to pull this item to address it and indicate that I would be not supporting it. I think with any policy, it's critical to weigh the city's point of view, and the public's point of view with regard to the issue. And in situations you have one side of the public might be supporting a certain position, and the other supporting an alternative. With this particular policy, I believe that it's not fair to those that want to get sidewalks. I think it is a safety issue. There is, from some statistics from the Federal Highway Administration show that there's about 4,500 pedestrians killed a year, and about 8% of those are in walk-by type accidents. And in about 88% of those incidents, the accident could have been averted by the installation of curbs and sidewalks. So I think it's really important that the city has a bias for safety, and I believe this policy is biased against those that want to get sidewalks and are of that opinion. So I won't be supporting that resolution tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Brown.
Thank you. I as well won't be supporting this. I will just make a couple points, one being when we discussed and voted on this as a report, the 3 aldermen who represent approximately 75% of the area to 85% of the area that this impacts did not support the report, the majority report. I think that says enough. I also don't believe that this is a fair policy for the reasons I stated before. 60% or greater, no responses equaling a no vote. We don't do that election time. The SSA doesn't do that to cancel it out. It's at 50% or greater than 50%. So I don't think this is a fair policy. So I just encourage everyone to think about those points before voting tonight.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I ask Clerk Spencer to, oh,
Norm.
Alderman Leader, sorry.
I spoke at length on this issue, and at the time I said it is a 2nd and 3rd Ward issue, primarily. And I said at the time that Alderman Dunn did live in the most impacted area, in the heart of the storm, if you will, and that I supported him then, and I support him now.
Thank you, Alderman. Anyone else? Nobody? Okay. Hearing no other discussion, I ask Clerk Spencer to call the roll, please.
Dunn.
No.
Gudenkauf.
Yes.
Leader.
Nay.
Graham.
No.
Volumsky, absent. York.
Aye.
One moment, please, I'm sorry. Okay, York.
Aye. Yep.
Hipskin.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Morley.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
Heza.
Aye.
I skipped Mulliner, sorry.
Aye.
Okay, it looks like 10 ayes, 3 nays, and 1 absent.
10 ayes, 3 nays, and 1 absent. The resolution passes. And we will move on to item 9, which is reports or recommendations of appointed and elected officials. Update from myself. Initially, the only update I have really is Western Access will be meeting with the tollway here in the next week or so regarding Western Access. The tollway has taken the lead on their project. As I mentioned a while ago, originally it was an IDOT project because of funding. IDOT didn't have the money to get this $3.6 billion project done. So the tollway is now taking control of it, which is a good thing. Will, has the best possible chance of getting done. We will be meeting with the tollway, and also the county has taken the lead on this as well too. So we look forward to working through this and try to get everything we can for Elmhurst. This will be a project of national significance. I believe 60,000 or 80,000 permanent jobs. I think Elmhurst is looking forward to close to 1,800 to 2,000 jobs here permanently here in Elmhurst. So it's a project that really impacts not only the whole county, but specifically our community a lot, especially the north section of our community. And also with that project, we are trying to fix a problem that has been long overdue, which is North Avenue, an eastbound exit to North Avenue off 294 going south. So that's also a project that we're looking at working together with Western Access, and ideally, if Western Access does take some time to get possibly that project done ahead of schedule over Western Access. But they will work together in tandem, and that ideally will keep a lot of this truck traffic off North Avenue, a lot of these three-point turns by semis that come down into the 3rd Ward and pull up in driveways and cause a lot of traffic issues. So those are big things that City Manager Grabowski and myself are working through over the next couple of weeks, but that's something we've been working on over the last several months too. But that will be a meeting coming up here shortly regarding that. So that's it from me. Hope everybody had a good break last week. I was able to get away with my family, and hope everybody was able to do that as well too. City Manager Grabowski.
Thank you. I have a few items. I know the Public Works Committee heard an update from the Storm and the Sanitary Subcommittees of the Mayor's Task Force. They're having a joint committee meeting April 12th, so we're looking forward to those two comparing some notes, getting reports together, and we're still looking in the May timeframe for those reports to come out. A couple other things. Yard waste pickup will resume this week on the regular refuse collection day. We're starting hydrant flushing through the end of April, and that's generally Monday through Friday between the hours of 7:30 and 3, and there will be signs posted in the affected areas before the work begins. And then lastly, I had the pleasure this morning of attending a small gathering for one of our Public Works employees who retired after 34 years with the city. And we invited him here tonight. He wasn't able to make it, but I wanted the council and the residents to be aware that Leroy Darby, after 34 years in the Public Works Department, retired today. So we wished him well, and the guys down at the garage sent him off this morning very well.
Very good. It's always good to hear about our good employees too, so very good. Anyone else? Alderman Pezza.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to remind everyone that with the free garbage pickup, I just want to be sure I'm correct, which starts the week of April 16th. Is that correct?
Spring cleanup.
Spring cleanup, that you may know, a lot of people don't know, you may no longer put out electronics, that you will be fined. There are other options. You could go to the city website to see where else you may take those, but the garbage will no longer collect those. You will be fined, is it $500? something like that, if you place those with the garbage, so don't put those out.
Good. Alderman Levin.
But we have a solution for that. Saturday, April 14th is the Elmhurst College's recycling event. I'm not sure what it's usually sometime in the morning, and they loaded up semis full of old electronic goods, so that's the option to use, and it ties in with our spring cleanout week.
Very good. Alderman York.
And then, also, I'm going to pass this down to City Manager Grabowski to get in everybody's packet for this week, but there was a news release from the DuPage Water, the County of DuPage regarding the DuPage Water Commission, and it was an independent report that the Chairman Cronin had asked be put together to kind of follow up on some of the things that led to significant rate increases in water and everything. So I'm going to pass this along and ask that everybody take a couple of moments to read the report regarding the Water Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on to other business. Anybody other business? Okay. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Gutenkopf, Alderman Kennedy, with a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned. We'll recess for about 5 minutes and come back to our open session regarding budget, committee of the whole. Thank you.